Hello, it's me, Jack-a-Lopium. Welcome along. We are back playing some more Dwarf Fortress. There is a ton going on. I'm going to start off with the total number of dwarfs, blurred out, right? I have actually tried to record episode 6 previously, but looking back over it, it was pure garbage. So a lot of the kind of progress or any of the stuff I filmed for progress between episode 5 and episode 6 was all garbage, so I tossed it out. So we are actually starting a little ways forward in time, and yeah, now we'll unblur the number of guys we've got. That's right, we've got 94 dwarves. Yeah, and a few things. First off, we have got a few dwarfs kind of like tipping over into unhappiness. As I've mentioned before, that is mostly like children, right? Because children have been getting angry. We are paused for a reason, and we'll get to that. Okay, so open up the labour menu. We don't need to worry about that. I think then we go to standing orders. We go into chores, and there is all of our stupid dwarven children, right? So that starts off everything ticked. So you can either come and untick all of these guys or just click on children don't do chores. And I'm hoping, now that they've all been taken off doing chores, that they will no longer do kind of like stupid hauling jobs or anything like that and then getting annoyed. So I'm hoping that's going to go up in happiness. We can't look at that real time because we are starting in pause. And there is a reason for that. And that is because this might be the end of the game, guys. This might be game over. Why do I say that? Because we're under attack. And I didn't realise that. I didn't know things had changed in regard to being under attack. But we've had 0 attacks from like goblin raiders, like goblin thieves. This, that, and the other. This is literally our first attack, and it's a smegging minotaur. Look at her. Even though that looks a bit male, but she is a 368-year-old female minotaur. And she's going to be the first guy to attack our base. Thing is, we have got very little in the way of security. I did say that was something I wanted to look up, or something I wanted to put in place. However, it's been an entire year since the last episode, and I've done nothing in regards to security. So this could spell the end of the fortress. What are we going to do to combat it? Okay, so we know that we've got all of these traps, and I'm hoping, that they just get trapped on these cage traps. However, we don't have a single military unit. So I think we open up the squad menu, create squads, fill their positions, assign equipment and schedules, and give specific orders. What you can do is you can just throw all of your miners and all of your axe wielding like tree choppers. We can like organize them into a kind of makeshift military. What I want to do over time is get rid of all of this stuff on this level, all of the storage, all of the workshops, everything, and just move them down, the next floor down, or even the floor after that, or the floor after that, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm going to turn the whole of this floor over to the military. But yeah, we've not really had access to, 94 guys. I'm sure we'll get some guys. I'm going to look for about 10, maybe. One squad of 10 guys, and then maybe a second squad of 10 guys for our military. And after this first attack, the first attack is going to just be miners and tree choppers. We do have quite a few of them. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 miners. So that's going to be the first 6 military. And then, like, just basically everyone who's armed with a tree chopping axe. And look, here's some more miners / axe wielders, and they'll already have an axe. So yeah, look, iron battle axe. So he's just basically, because your wood chopping axes are basically battle axes, so we just don't have any armor on these guys. Although I'm hoping once we organize them into military, they go and run and grab, because I have been building up my stocks of military items like weapons and armor. Let's look, where is the armor? Ammo bin, armor bin, yeah. So yeah, we do have a bunch of random stuff. This is stuff I've just got cheap from the trader. And I have been making some weapons and armor, but not all that much in my own. Yeah, because the old episode 6 dealt with this, but obviously I've ditched that. So, and this is the metal industry, and this is how it's set up. You basically need to separate out your rock stockpiles. You want something called economic stone, right? So go into your stone stockpiles there, stone. You then go into custom, and you want to separate out by either metal ores, as you'd think. So things like galena, limonite, magnetite, hematite. That's probably the first one you're going to see. That's the most commonplace economic ore, I believe. And then you want to separate out your other stone, which is not important economically. Economic ores are to do with dolomite. Does this actually say? No. So yeah, separate out your ores. Non-metallic ores are just being left over up here next to our like stoneworkers and crafts dwarf, which you might have seen previously. We've set up a bone kind of area, but that needs work doing to it because it's just filled up with muscle shells instead of real bones. Which I didn't realise, which actually is no good for our dwarf that's going crazy, i.e. this guy. She wants bones, but we don't have any bones, so we're going to have to slaughter some more animals. But yeah, there's the hematite and the limonite. That is your iron ore, so you want to get that separated off into iron ore. You want, there's another iron ore pile. Then you want lignite, which we can change into coke. Then we've got dolomite, which is economic ore. Kaolinite, which I believe is also economic ore. And so on like that. And you want wood as well. Wood gets turned into coal, which is the first thing you need. And then coal gets turned into coke, and also lignite gets turned into coke. Yeah, actually it goes coal, then you use your coal to smelt your lignite, which turns it into coke. So then you get your coke, which is in this stockpile here, and then you use your lignite coke to then make or melt down your hematite. And lignite, and I think tetrahedrite, right? And then you use hematite turned into iron, and also you want hematite and your economic ore, which is dolomite. You want that melted down into steel bars, so, or rather into pig iron bars, and then you use pig iron and iron to then turn it into steel bars. At the moment, I'm just producing a bunch of iron armor and weapons, and then I'm just going to immediately upgrade to steel weapons and armor. And we do have enough to do that. It's going to take some time, and obviously it's no good to us now that we are under attack. There's another thing about happiness I want to do first. Then we will get on with appointing our first squads. Squads being our military. Where is it? Oh no, it's up, isn't it? Yeah, so we've got some living quarters, which you might have seen on a couple of episodes of the more recent episodes. This is going to be my office area, and an office area actually consists of an office, a bedroom, and a dining room. So your kind of like bosses, your managers, your nobles, they're the ones that use offices, and they want as big a house as they can get, obviously. And this is going to be, each one of these is going to be my noble's house and their family. They also need a tomb. Now, I've not looked at this too much off camera, the nobles' tombs. However, I have started setting out. I mean, I think we're up to like 30 or 40 maybe, but each one of your dwarfs is going to need a smegging coffin, and then each coffin then gets turned into a tomb. But not your nobles. Your nobles, we will eventually, once we've dealt with this attack, we'll set out a burial plot for our nobles. They do have to be like much prettier than like your standard dwarfs burial spot. There's something else that dwarfs like, and they are kind of getting annoyed about it. Can we go in here? Yeah. Unmet need, pray, blah, blah, blah. Pray, pray, pray. So they worship multiple gods, and each one of your dwarfs, you can't tell him which god to worship. He will choose his own set of gods to worship, and each of your dwarfs will worship a different set of deities, right? How do you pray? Right, I've mentioned this a bit earlier. In fact, it was the last episode, yeah, because it was in episode 5. You need a bunch of altars. You need a lot of altars, because you saw that they worship multiple different gods. Again, we were going to set this up this episode and then leave the game running to see if our dwarves got happier. However, we can't leave it running because we're under attack, but we can set it up. Now, your temples for prayer is a good idea if you set them up as 2 kind of, in inverted commas, rooms. It's like, think of it more like a temple complex than a temple in itself. At the moment, these rooms here are the kind of like vestibules of the temple complex. You guys will just hang around in here until they go into pray. The first room here is a kind of general worshipping spot where people can just go and worship like all the gods, or some of the gods, or non-specific gods. The way you set that up is you have yourself a room. It needs to be about 25 to infinite squares large, although I would do like 25 to 35 squares in total area. Then set up a bunch of altars. I've set them up in kind of statue, what would you call those? Kind of like indents where you put your statues. We've seen these before. I have mentioned those types of indents for statues previously. It's good for your... Oh boy. cut all this rubbish. So yeah, these statues in their indents here, and their wall indentations, and they will just keep dwarves kind of like mildly happy as they walk past these guys to work or back to their bedrooms. We could do with eventually putting some more statues up on the actual bedroom levels, just so that they get an eye full of them. And every time they see a statue, they'll get slightly more happy. So yeah, we are going back. But instead of putting statues, we want a bunch of altars in the indentations. First off, you want, like I said, a room about 25 squares wide. We'll look at it under the zones menu. If you look here at this dwarf's face, it's a zone placement tool. So you click on that and you can look at the ones that have already been set up and the ones which we are going to set up. So we've only set up one so far. We'll click on it to have a look at it. The Anguish of Nadirs, all of these, and you want between 6 and 8 of these altars, but they're not set up in dedication to any god in particular. They're set up here as a temple, a new temple. Is this the Fragrant Mist? And this is actually... Oh no, that's the guild hall. Right, okay. Okay, so it's worth 500. But yeah, you set it up like that, and you smooth over the walls to make things, to make again your dwarves happier. You door it off, and that is your kind of like open-ended. Your open-ended temple. So none of these are dedicated to any god in particular. However, you want to build also a corridor and set it up like this. You can either have them up evenly or like one above the other kind of thing. It kind of just worked out like that as I was experimenting, but you can set it up so that they're on the same level, you can see. But then behind each one of these altars, and you can hear a bunch of workmen outside the studio, which is awesome. And then each one of these is going to be dedicated to an individual god. And then, yeah, they're up this corridor. It's smoothed out. And each altar is behind a single door. So it's a single space and a single door. But we are going to go in, and the way to dedicate them is... Where is it? I believe it's just meeting area, right? So you'd go in, meeting area, click over the top of the first altar, click it twice, you just want one space there. Accept. Temple, and then here you get to see no specific deity. That's how we dedicated these ones here in this room. Are all of those altars are to no specific deity, but for these ones in the corridor, they're gonna get individually dedicated. And as you can see, there are about 20 different gods, so we're gonna dedicate 20 of these sodden things. One. Meeting area. Temple. Renowned perfection. Oh boy. I mean, this is going to take forever. And there you go. You just work through the list. New temple. Number 3. And then once all of that's done, all of your dwarfs will have somewhere to pray. And then this level, we are going to look at guilds as well. There is already one that the dwarves have joined. It's again, we can go in and look at it. The Fragrant Mist. And then we can see the details there. It's only worth 36. Again, they want more and more expensive guild halls all the time. However, this room is not going to support any wealth whatsoever because of the terrible cavern floor there. You can't smooth it down or anything. So I'm going to move them over to this area here eventually. And you can see I've set it up so that the walls are smooth. In fact, we can probably set them up with it now. Okay, we'll do it like that. Except this can be the guild hall. It is a... No, hold on. Hold on. I wonder if we can actually move these guys, can we? Assign a new or existing location. Yeah, so it's the Fragrant Mist. Let's remove that. And then we'll try putting in a new one. Yeah, the Fragrant Mist. So they should go and meet there now. Yeah, look, 360. So we've already done 10 times the amount of wealth there. We're also going to build furniture, statues. We're going to put a few statues in here as well. Okay, we've only got 3. I'm going to put the other 2 there. There you go. And again, yeah, your statues will increase the value of the room. You can also, you know, engrave some artwork there. There you go. Unfortunately, they won't engrave underneath the statues, so actually, I'm going to remove those for now. Sorry to be a pain, but that's how you would do it anyway. You would raise the value of the room by like smoothing, engraving, placing statues, placing furniture, and you can just replace your statues as you get better and better statues. Oh no, there's the Doomsday Whistle. However, we need to do something about this bloody minotaur. It's getting closer and closer all the time. He did get trapped. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so the guy did literally just get trapped in the first cage trap in the entrance there. Thank God for that. But yeah, I'm going to need to look up how to build the military because the new UE is so different to the old text-based one. So I'm not sure what I'm doing at all. But yeah, I'm going to sign off now.
Your mother's a bitch.